Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of New Earth, welcome back to match number 2 of the group stages, letter B. Let me get rid of this versus screen out of your way and get rid of all this crap that I accidentally had open. And yeah, we're going to take a look at the banning stages already. So, if you're just joining us, Reason Gaming took game number 1. By no means a blowout. That game was down to the wire. Every little team fight was nitpicked and planned out like so carefully, but at the end, Reason Gaming did come out on top. So that's why we see them as 1-0. This is a best of 3 series. The loser of this will move on to the loser bracket, where they will have to face whoever loses D-Dog versus Sync. That game is 1-0 nothing D-Dog right now. So I heard Sync is coming back, so that's likely going to go to a game 3, but we don't need to worry about that just yet because this series is nowhere near over. Take a look at the bans real quick. The second game in a row, Impiboy has banned Ravenar, and this time we see a ban on a curse. Very interesting. They must have been doing some kind of scouting because that is not a typical ban at all. Fusen's going to ban out War Beast and Moira. Maybe Fusen's just tired of playing Moira, and he didn't want them to get it, so they just ban it. Makes perfect sense there. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the picks. Ophelia is going to get picked up first into Magnus, then Meraxis once again onto Own Me. He's played that hero every single game for like the past 2 weeks, and he's loving it. He's had supremely awesome initiations. The Matrax doing work all the time, so they're super stoked about getting that pickup. They're going to second draft Ruta Z. Likely going to see Boxy on that hero because he didn't have the best time with Madman if they're going to stick him in a suicide role. Then into Rhapsody for the support hero on the Legion side, and then BMG picks up Soul Stealer for the last pick before the second banning wave. So a very different playstyle here, looking like a little bit more Wombo combo coming out for BMG. And we'll see what kind of bans are affected this way. So the next set of bans coming out here is going to be Andromeda, Puppet Master. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a Flux ban or a Tempest ban because it's looking like BMG's going with that sort of strategy. So they can either counterplay it with another initiator like Behemoth, or and let the pick happen. But if you're not going to do that, then I think they should be banning that core initiation hero. They take out Voodoo Jester instead. So Fusen's going to ban out Puppet Master and Solomon, and it's not a hero that I see Reason Gaming play. These bans are just so outlandish right now. Riftwalker makes sense with the history the Roots he has on the hero, but these guys know something I don't because this is leaving open a ton of heroes that we usually see instant banned. And the final ban used on Tremble, a little bit more conventional, but I mean, yeah, there's still a ton of very dangerous heroes out on the stage there, and these teams haven't really committed to any type of strategy, so it's interesting to see what they're gonna run. Here comes a Swiftblade pickup, and that's what I'm talking about—a very common ban and a hero that you don't want in the hands of Make in a suicide role. So okay, sorry for the intermittent pauses there. I was just finishing up my lunch. That's done. It's out of the way. Back to focusing on the match at hand here. So like I said, a Tempest or a Flux, I think, would be a massive statement. And Kraken fits that role too. Well, I'm okay with the Kraken. They're definitely still sticking around to that type of strategy. Um, and not to mention, well, actually, Reason banned out the Andromeda, so That's not there, but they go with the Doctor Repulsor, so Reason Gaming going with a somewhat of a dual core lineup this time. They're gonna suicide that Swiftblade on Zane. So yeah, this is a very comfortable strategy for Reason Gaming. Meraxis in mid, getting the early levels and hopefully the early farm, creating space by Ophelia, getting active early, allowing the two lanes that she's surrounded by to ensure that they win those lanes. That's kind of how Tankafet rolls. Swiftblade Zane, we already see how he can hold his own. He's been getting kills left and right in the suicide roll, and to seal the deal at the end, a Dr. Repulsor. So, really like how Reason Gaming's draft is shaping out to be. We take a look at BMG's on the other hand. So, likely going to be, this could be still a support Kinesis. I don't know if they're just messing with us because they haven't swapped it around yet, but I mean, there's suicide, 3 different heroes here that could be viable in suicide or in the middle lane. So, BMG's gonna have to consider what do they want to pit up against Meraxis. Okay, and they go for a Luna. So they're gonna put Fusin supporting on a Luna. Swap the Magnus to Ruta Z, Kinesis going to Boxy, Soulstealer on Balthazar, and Make on Kraken. So at the end of the day, it all pretty much makes sense. So we're gonna see Boxy and a suicide. That still could be switched up either way. I think ultimately though, it'd be best for them to put the Kraken in the middle lane, where he's gonna be able to contest with Meraxis. God, I hate speculating about lane matchups because there's so many ways it could go. It just aggravates me. There's too much thought going into it, but we usually see that they're gonna come out. I imagine he's gonna sell those boots. Oh, yeah, you're gonna get rid of the boots after all. And they're rotating down quickly into this bottom lane. They caught out Boxy last time. Could this be... Will we see it again? Because it was Madman trying to get that ward down. Boxy getting here a lot sooner this time. But here he goes. Swiftblade's gonna spot him out. He's gonna fall back actually and missing an opportunity. There goes Boxy, gonna drop that early ward down here. That's in a fairly decent spot. Typically they don't really care for Rune Sight. What the hell is the music playing for? God damn it. That's very unlikely to get countered, and it's still gonna give him protection from Ophelia. He still does buy boots first, and he's got a bit of pooled regen purchased for him by Fusin. Fusin being a team player there. I have to see. Ophelia hasn't really committed. She's just got these Blight Stones, and I mean, she's probably going to rush the early boots. Did she pool regen onto Swiftblade? No, she actually didn't. So... I have to see what Ophelia does below, but Tankafet does like to buy early boots so he can get rotations off quicker and keep up with his creeps when he's ganking. Oh, thank you for the shout out. Gotta fix the overlay. Good call, guys. Keeping me on my toes. Alright, so already we're going to see Soulstealer in the safe lane. Magnus doing the pull that the BMG, you know, pretty much made famous. And this is going to get Ruta Z around level 4. They sacrificed a little bit of experience and gold to Balthazar, but I'm pretty sure as Soulstealer, it's not the least of your worries. The hero is just, has the impact of snowballing insanely. So this matchup's going to be fairly even. I think Make has the advantage in terms of harassment capabilities, but we're going to see Onmi get much better farm with the recent buff to the axes on Meraxis. And bottom lane, it's going to be interesting. Kinesis can maintain lane control with some good telekinetic lifts, but at the same time, there's a lot of kill potential here. Boxy gets caught in a bad position. He's going to die pretty quick. Very minimal regen and just boots. So already we see a Luna here. Zane dropping the ward of sight here as if, you know, he's faking that he already placed it, try to bait out the Revelation ward, but he saw that there's no Rev wards on either of these heroes. He's going to put it down, and he's going to man up he does got early boosts here, and he's going to just put a couple of right-click hits in there, realizing that Aluna is not putting out much harassment right now. Back to mid lane just to take a peek. It's 8-0 for Meraxis versus a 10-3 Kraken. So Kraken doing considerably better than I would actually have imagined. He's definitely out-farming Meraxis at this point, but at the same time, he just got his second point into the axes, and that was really where he can start pulling forward. In my opinion, though, it comes down to execution. That is a pretty even matchup. I just slightly give it to Meraxis because it's like he has a couple hatchets. I feel like he has an easier time last hitting. Well, this Kraken doesn't want to push the wave with Splash. He's going to have to be careful with toggling that. But Kinesis walking all the way back to base. Okay, he's trying to adjust lane control is what he's doing. And I just never seen it done that way. I usually just see him pick up the range creep and that's it. But definitely Boxy playing a cool strategy there. Here comes the power throw from Aluna, double stacking both camps simultaneously, getting ready for the double pull, perhaps. So, yeah, Fusen busting out some cool strategies himself. And I will say, though, that Zane has had the easiest time of his life. He came up here with only 3 Blightstones, and he's managed to leech his way to level 4 relatively quickly. And on a Suicide Swiftblade, I don't care what you think, if you can get level 6... then you've done your job and you haven't died, you've done your job well. Because then it's just a matter of setting up free kills around the map. And you can even rotate and find this Magmus eventually. Magmus, you can see he leveled that Volcanic Touch 2 points and he's working his way to the jungle. Oh man! He's just one creep away from biting the dust there. He's going to get greedy and attack that wolf, isn't he? That Buckler. I'm keeping an eye on you, Magmus. Rudizy doing a really good job so far. He's at 240 GPM. His XP is pretty good. And you can see the goal difference between Soul Stealer and Imba Boy is really negligible. So, what did just happen up here? Zane got Bloodlust with a rotation from near onto Baltazar. I really apologize for missing that, guys. Very impressive rotations, though. Yes, I am the caster here. Damn it, I'm pissed I missed that Bloodlust. I was thinking about too much stuff. Anyways, here comes Meraxis into the middle lane. So Kraken doing well. He's doing better than I thought he would. He's already got the level advantage. Here comes something bottom lane. 2 Veiled Rots activated, but Kinesis, I don't know if it was he alerted them by playing too aggressive or something, or it's just the timing, because here comes Dr. Repulsor. He just happens to be pulling the lane at this time, and they wasted all that gold and all that time rotating these heroes for absolutely no reason. But maybe they could tag team these Ancients. Actually, not going to do that either. Wild Hunter spawns. Pretty unfortunate for Dr. Repulsor, but it does look like he's cleaning up most of the kills here. Again, Swiftblade's going to dive onto the Soul Stealer. He did use the Swift Slashes this time and follow up with the Blade Frenzy, and that's enough to do the job. So, unfortunate event. They rotate 2 down bottom to set up a gank, but they leave Balthazar alone, and Zane today. This is the second time he's in a suicide role, gotten the Bloodlust kill, and just going crazy. Wow, Zane, I'm impressed. And that was the lane that there was no guarantee on. Ophelia pretty much going to guarantee these lanes are won. But to win that, I mean, wow, it's already looking really good for Reason Gaming. So you can see Kinesis rotating into the middle lane here. He's trying to set something up, but it's double damage from Meraxis. I don't think that's the ideal target. And here comes Ophelia with the Disco Inferno, going to heal up these creeps. And they're going to siege towers really quickly. And this is a strategy that I've seen them use every time. And you could say this is how you're supposed to play Ophelia, but I mean, they do it very well. Tankafet manages to rotate, and once they start pushing these towers, they get the aggressive wards up, they take over the map, and this is how they managed to beat Druids in the recent matchup that they played in as well in the Dreamhack qualifier. It's a strategy that hasn't been countered by any team yet. Just apply pressure in the other lanes, sneak in some tower pushes with Ophelia, and just basically, it's simple. Take over the map. Kraken's going to bottle up a regeneration rune. Unfortunately, not the best rune to get aggressive with. But he is going to man up here, and he's probably going to start to pressure this lane. Maybe force out some rotations by Reason Gaming. I imagine that's what he should do. But he doesn't have the vision that we do. Now, Swiftblade hitting level 7. The Swift Slash is coming off cooldown, and he's almost got enough to buy a set of Ghost Marchers. You can see Soulstealer forced to bulk up, getting Steam Boots and Soul Screaming, ideally what you want on the hero, but it's just like he's in a very, very dangerous situation without any supporting casts here. Kraken going to use that Torrent ability just to focus on last hits, and he's not actually going to be pressuring the lane at all, so not getting the most utilization out of that regeneration rune. And Dr. Repulsor now, he can actually rotate into the jungle. That opens up bot lane, but I don't think they do that. I think they just keep it as is because they're farming comfortably. They're slowly gaining a lead here that the BMG is not able to contest with. And also, if the lanes stay how they are, bottom and mid secured, and Swiftblade still has kill potential onto Soulstealer. You can see he's going to rotate up here. Will not get spotted out. Here comes the initiation onto Soulstealer. Swift Slash is coming out. The Blade Frenzy locking him down, and Rhapsody there just for extra support. They're going to pull the lane here so that they can push top tower simultaneously while they push mid tower, forcing BMG to make a decision. Who are they going to collapse on? And they're not even in a real good position to defend this. They got the Kraken ultimate. It's going to put out a decent amount of damage, but I think Reason's just going to fall back. If they defend mid, they push top. And this is very, very efficient way of pressuring the lanes. Even Dr. Repulsor is going to start auto-attacking creeps here, get the pressure moving out on bottom. Yeah, Boxy had a fairly good start on Kinesis in the suicide lane, but really what turned the pace of the game and kind of put BMG on tilt was the Bloodless kill for Zane. He got Bloodless onto Soulstealer with a rotation from Rhapsody, and then he just got 2 solo kills using Swift Slashes running over what was off cooldown. And a minute from now, that's the same case. So they could rotate Soulstealer, and they're going to move into the Ancients now, so he'll find some farm, but it's kind of like the damage is done. You have such a good start coming out for this Legion side, they're not going to stop. They're not going to let up the pushing of the base, taking the towers, giving more gold into the pockets of their carries, and their initiators. We'll see a very early portal key on Amraxis if they push this mid tower and tier 2 bottom. Dr. Repulsor, though, he just knows. I mean, he's got Rhapsody nearby, but there's nobody showing on the map besides, you know, top and mid. So he's got a feeling here comes a double damage rune going to be bottled up by Dr. Repulsor. So I think they're ready to take a fight now. And they're going to come over here and steal a Dragon Master. Credit for going to Ophelia. And here comes this tier 2 tower going to go down without a defense, and really with that double damage Dr. Repulsor, there's no way they would be able to successfully defend this. It's going to be tricky. I mean, you kind of have to say Soulstealer's going to have to rush a portal key and try to turn a counter, like, you know, counter initiate. Maybe bait out the Kraken, then follow up with a Magma Lava Surge Eruption, and the Soulstealer ult could get into a position, but so much at this point, it's not even the gold, it's just the levels. A level 7 Soulstealer is nothing. It doesn't contribute anything to this team fight here. He doesn't have max souls, and he doesn't have soul burst. So a couple demon hands. Here comes Magnus. He's gonna set up, but no, he's gonna eat a Rhapsody staccato stun. He stuns it, catches up, but the collapse on him is real. They melt Swiftblade before the Swift Slashes come out, and they're gonna switch on to Kraken here per second melody in the background just to make sure. Dr. Repulsor still got the double damage rune activated, and a serial killer hat trick for Imba Boy. Make it a quad kill any second now onto Luna. He's gonna give himself some vision there. No, Dongwa getting credit for the kill. So Magnus and Kraken buy back, both to come in and die. Annihilation coming out for Imba Boy. Here comes Magnus trying to clean up the mess. He's getting the channel of the eruption, but no! He will die before it goes off, and that could have been 3 dead heroes for the Legion side, but instead, it's a crazy snowballing factor for Reason Gaming, and BMG should not have taken that team fight. I understand you have to put up a resistance. You don't want to give up these towers so easily, but there's no way that you can take a team fight when you're down like 7 levels across the board. It's just so intense. Miraculous is going to get a free ride home, courtesy of that Ophelia's judgment, and return with his brand new portal key. He had it purchased. He actually never even got it in that fight. So it just goes to show, I mean, they pulled that off with just sheer manpower. They didn't even have like the ideal positioning. I love it. Dr. Pulsar goes for the icon of the goddess. He's in that position where he doesn't need to AFK farm. They're comfortably taking these team fights. Swiftblade is probably going to build either Energizer. There it goes. He finishes the Energizer. Eventually into an Abyssal Skull. I mean, they have what they need to seal the deal already. It's just going to come down to patience and execution. So here comes the aggressive wards that the near. Let's see, is that Nier's ward? It certainly is. So they're going to be able to keep BMG pinned into their base now, and Kinesis with an invisibility rune for about 27 more seconds. So in a decent position, but this is a horrible spot to be in. If they happen to have a Revelation ward handy, oh, they dust. They catch Kinesis with the dust. He's going to get bursted down immediately. What in the world tipped him off to use that dust? They didn't have vision of the invisibility rune being picked up. Like, that's just that's insanity. I can't believe that they managed to pull that off. And they're going to push the mid lane here. These guys are ready to win. I mean, Reason Gaming, I called it 2 months ago that these guys were going to be Dreamhack champions, and they are looking so good today. I understand I'm not supposed to be biased, but like, just from what I've seen over the past month or two, it's clearly been them. Ever since I've seen them make it to the finals time and time again, and then they ended up losing. You know, they were one of the last teams qualified for Dreamhack, but they kept coming back. They played together so much, they built a lot of synergy between them, and they never gave up. So a lot of respect for Reason Gaming and the strides they've made. The one team that really had their number was Druids, and they took them out in the warm-ups. So these guys are definitely a force to be reckoned with. That being said, the competition is still fierce. I'm not even counting out BMG because they still have the losers bracket to make a way into the playoffs. But I mean, this is a strategy that needed to work early on, and they're executing it flawlessly. Ruta Z even had a great start, but he's pretty far from that portal key still with the 2 deaths already, and no tower kills. Here comes the last tower, and really the last shred of a chance of hope for BMG, because they pretty much just lose their ability to recover and farm, and this is like that choking. They're choking the resources of BMG. There's no real counter to this because they just pick fights flawlessly. They won the laning phase, so basically secure the transition into this. They're going to need pressure up here. Magnus does not even have a TP. He's likely going to push this wave, sell a totem, and TP up top, but it's kind of be pretty late. Soulstealer finally max souls, and he does hit level 9, so he has a chance to put some burst damage, but unless he walks up there with the Energizer, he has no real way to secure the damage. These guys are backing off. Playing it safe. They're probably going to go set up on Kongor now that the lanes are all pushed up. Kraken will have his portal key by then, but I mean, if they do it quickly, then they're still in a great position. Yep, so taking a look at the items, Energizer is completed on Swiftblade, like we said, and he hasn't bought anything in a while, so he must have something in the base. Tablet now completed onto Rhapsody. I'm sure Nier is enjoying his life right now. Very rarely you see a support with 350 GPM getting these utility items this early, not to mention a power supply, dust, steam boots. I mean, that's insane. literally insane. You have Ophelia, 2K in the bank. Is she going to buy her own tablet of command? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The Kraken ult is the main source of damage for the Hellborn team. Oh, Swift Slash is coming out. It's going to connect and drop Foos in there. This is the setup they needed. They can probably rush into Kongor here. Abyssal Skull going to be completed on Zane. We take a look at Meraxis. He's going to... he has a couple different ways he can go here, but I wouldn't put it past him to grab the Hellflower again. And Dr. Repulsor actually going to be building a Hellflower of his own, so maybe we see something different on Meraxis. He can't really go wrong. Anything with strength at this point was going to assist him. He bought something. Okay, he bought a Bulwark. That's going to assist him pushing. That's perfect. There's plenty of physical damage coming out. Tower's under siege from the Minotaurs. They're going to have the Bulwark buff in just a second to help push these towers down. And here comes the TP. Yeah, from Magnus. We'll see what he can do here. Telekinetic Lift activated onto Dr. Repulsor. He takes a bunch of burst damage, but he needs to put himself in a bad position. Protect the Melody, keeping them alive in the background. Now here comes Meraxis diving in onto Luna in the background. A Magnus Lava Surge onto 2 targets. But here comes another comeback onto Kraken's going to fall down. They're going to force out a buyback onto Kraken here. He's going to try to return here and set something up, but the damage is already done. Most of the cooldown's exhausted for this Hellborn team. Another Quake Stun by Meraxis onto Kinesis. They burst down that magic shield. He'll fall down. Kraken's going to take the magnetic contraption straight to the face. And he falls, and now all that's left is the barracks. Magnus never using his eruption that entire fight, and I guess he didn't really have an opportunity to do so. Meraxis coming in with a Quake Stun. More intimidation than anything. Trying to buy a little bit of space, and GG well played's already being called. Wow, I mean, I knew it was over, but I didn't expect to concede so early. I thought they would make him work for it a little bit harder. Reason Gaming's going to take the series 2-0 over Bad Monkey Gaming, progress into the winners finals, and that means BMG is going to have their work cut out for him to make it into the playoffs. They're either going to be facing D-Dog or Sync. Neither of those are walkthrough teams. So that loser bracket game coming up later today is going to be one hell of a match to watch. I will be casting that one, so make sure you guys stay tuned. I think we are going to have a bit of a break here in between now and the next matches. So, you know, stick around for a while, and I'll keep you updated on when the next match is going to come up. I don't exactly know for now, so I will have to go check that out with my affiliates over at Dreamhack. And yeah, I'm going to go to some music here and cut to the stream. But what a great game, extremely well executed by Reason Gaming, and the draft was just amazing. Nothing much else to say there. So you guys watched it, you saw what happened. We'll be returning soon. there's not too many people hanging around still at this point, I am going to be muting the stream audio so that I can watch Honcast and relax, kick back, and enjoy this last matchup before we get back into casting the other one. So I'm sure everybody's probably over at the Honcast stream anyways, but just know that the stream will be muted for the next little while here. Alright? But everybody who's still listening, thanks for the support. I love you guys so much. I'll return soon.